Greetings, Batavia Mayor Jeff Schielke speaking to you on Friday, September 16th, 2022. And got a couple things that I want to share with my opinion with the community about. One is I want to encourage everybody that's planning to vote in the coming election. I believe it's on November 4th, Tuesday, November 4th, that you study the candidates that are up for election in the Congressional District, in the State Senate districts, and in the State Representative districts, because the maps that have previously served Batavia for those particular districts and the congressmen and state senators and state representatives who we previously had, they're all gone. If you go in to vote, you're going to see that the names are all different, and you're not voting for the same people you largely voted for in the last election. And this was done as part of a redoing of the legislative maps after the 2020 census. And it has caused, I think, a lot of confusion. They've changed a lot of the district numbers that impact Batavia. The Congressional District is all changed. I guess we have two congressmen now, and I've talked about this before. Neither one of which is anybody's voted for. Well, should say one of the congressmen that's on the ballot was previously with us, but now that's Bill Foster, and now he's back again. But there's a lot of different folk, and there's another district up on the north end of Batavia that's totally new to our town, and it's 19 houses and the gas station at Fabian and Route 25. It's a very confusing thing, and I'm trying to put out some information in the city's Batavian magazine, which will be coming out here right after the first of the month. And I would encourage you to do that, and maybe even go to the Kane County Clerk's website or the Tri-City League of Women Voters website, because they are trying very diligently to inform people about all these changes and who is and who isn't your state senator, your state representative, or your congressman. And so hopefully we'll get through it, but I am predicting already that we're going to have a lot of people, specifically the early voters who come down to City Hall, expressing wonderment as to who these people are that they're being asked to vote for and what happened to the group that was here last time. So that's what we have to look forward to in the election process. I would encourage everyone to keep your eye on things happening around town. Right now, our City Hall is undergoing some significant restorations and renovations. And in Batavia, if you come down to pay your utility bills at the City Hall, you know that for a number of years now, the utility billing office has been up on the second floor. Well, as of this morning, that changed, and it's down now in the first floor lobby by the first door that you come to as you walk up Island Avenue. So that's just one of several changes, and there's going to be some more, nothing real dramatic, but we're trying to make the building more usable, specifically for senior citizens and those who need to walk up and go do stuff or whatever. They should have an easier way of kind of finding their way around the building. I would encourage you to also look at some of the things that are about to happen. Today is the homecoming football game in Batavia tonight, and it will also be the first time that the Batavia High School team has played on their new field, which was put in here recently with the new bleachers and the new lights. And I should think it would be a memorable night for the Batavia Bulldogs on the first game being the homecoming. They've already played 3 games, but this will be the first at-home game. And so if you're not doing anything tonight, I'd encourage you to maybe take a swing out there and see what's going on. We've had already quite a bit of activity with the Batavia High School homecoming week this week. On Wednesday, they had the homecoming parade, which took a little bit of a different route. The days when we used to walk it all the way through downtown apparently are over, and now they try to walk around over on by Batavia High School, come down Wilson to Lincoln, and then turn down south on Lincoln, and then go back west on Main Street. And there was a lot of people there. I was out there to see it, and there was a lot of people there to watch what was going on. And then last night they had the Batavia High School Hall of Honor induction, and they put some very worthy people into the Hall of Honor. And again, I had the opportunity to be there for that, and it was a nice evening. A lot of people. There were 3, I believe, of the inductees who were no longer alive, so it wasn't like you could talk to everybody that was being honored, but there was, again, a very nice night there. And then tonight is the homecoming game, and then tomorrow during the daytime, the Batavia High School Alumni Association, as I'm told they're being called, is going to have a reception at the Batavia Fine Arts Center. And starting at 10 o'clock, they're going to have a program about the history of Batavia High School, which I have been asked to prepare and put on, and we're going to use the screen, and we're going to show a bunch of old slides of Batavia High School back in the old days, and when Batavia High School was first built. And I had the opportunity to be a senior the first year that the current high school building was in service. And so tomorrow night down at Funway, there's going to be a class reunion of the Batavia High School class of 66 and the Batavia High School class of 67. And they're going to bring down a bunch of pictures and have a little gathering down there from about 4 till 10 and invite anybody that wants to stop down. They've got quite a collection of historic old Batavia High School pictures that they're going to show, which I think many people will find of interest. And in the program tomorrow, there's going to be quite a bit of old Batavia history talked about as far as the high school. And, you know, really at the end of the day, we are in with the building that they're now in out there. That is, for all intent and purposes, the 4th Batavia High School building that was built for that purpose. There were 2 that were originally in the elementary schools, one on the east side and one on the west side, at the old Louise White on the east side and the old McLean School on the west side. And then they moved it over to, built a new building. They started building in 1912, but it wasn't until after the first of the year in 1915 that they finally got the building done. So the school began itself in kind of mid-air there in February, I believe it was, of 15, when they finally got the newer building opened. And that stayed in place until the Batavia High School class of 66 was the last class to graduate from that building, and the Batavia High School class of 67, of which I am a member, was the first class to attend the new school as a senior. So that's kind of the story, and we've got some really neat old pictures of old teachers and old stuff that happened at the high school, and I think anybody that's an old-time Batavian is welcome to come and take it in and enjoy the program. We are, I think, having a lot of new ideas kicked around town. And one of the things that I've been asked to do is a week from Sunday, we're going to have what they're calling the Walk with the Mayor. And this is being done as kind of a national movement. I believe in Illinois there's only 12 cities where the mayors are doing it. But they ask you to walk around your town with your constituents and talk about the history and why things are the way they are. And so in our case, we're going to meet at the Peg Bond Center at 9 a.m. next Sunday. It's free to come, just ask that you register for it, and that you then walk along and listen to the stories. And so my intention is to point out and show where the 3 windmill factories were in the downtown, and they're all along the river. Then to talk about the Batavia Newton Wagon Company, later the Batavia Body Company. Again, that was built along the river to take advantage of the water power. And then we're going to talk about how the City Hall building, which was started out as a windmill factory, eventually became Dunbar Capel, which was a company that made conveyor belt systems and moving products onto ships and stuff like that. And so in the mid-1960s, they got involved with the U.S. Space Administration. And so we are told, and it's been confirmed in books that have been written, that the flexible fuel lines that were used in the rocket that took off and landed on the moon and then took off from the moon and came back to Earth with the 3 astronauts on it, the fuel lines were made in our city council chambers downstairs. And then down the other end of the street, we had the Shumway Foundry for 130 years, And for about 30 years, they made the molds for the Academy Award statue. So we've got some pretty prominent national connections in our community that are stuff that I think citizens should know about and be very proud of. So that's kind of the future of the next week. And again, we got stuff tomorrow and certainly a week from tomorrow with the Walk with the Mayor. And is that tomorrow or that's the 4th, I think? Let's see.
The move with the mayor?
Yeah,
That's a week from Sunday.
so this Sunday is, why don't we stop the thing for a minute?
Yep.